action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI news video. And once again, we've got a lot to cover, so let's just jump right into it. And let's start off with a little bit of Transformer news. So Hasbro just today announced that they're going to be bringing over the Dinobots combiner set from Takara Tomy. It is going to be released here in the United States as a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. It is going to be going up for pre-order on October 12th. Now, you may recall these figures were released individually back during the Powers of the Prime line. And with this new set, it's basically all of them together, where they turn the Dinobots into a combiner. And you get some new paint deco with these. And you also get some swords with these that were not included with the original release. And so, like I said, if you missed out, this really, I was really excited when this one was first announced. I think as a kid, many of us wanted the Dinobots to be a combiner. So I thought it was a really cool idea when it was first announced, but just the toy just really, in my opinion, did not work very well. I am not terribly impressed with the combiner mode, the Volcanicus, I think that's how you pronounce his name. It just never did much for me. I have the original one. I definitely really don't see much interest in picking this one up. I do like the better paint. The paint deco does look a little better with these, and then you get the added sword accessories. But to me, it's not worth buying it again, since I was not really fond of the actual toy itself. So I don't really have anything for you guys on the Marvel front today, other than there has been some movie news that came out. Now, this is kind of rumor, but it's being reported by Deadline that actor Jonathan Majors, who stars in the new HBO Lovecraft Country series, it's a horror series, he's going to be joining the cast of Ant-Man 3, and that's pretty much a given, but what character he's playing is a little bit of a mystery. However, Deadline says that sources close to the project tell them that he's likely going to be playing the major bad guy, and this is kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want movie spoilers, fast forward a few seconds. But he's said to be playing the time traveler known as Kang the Conqueror, who's a pretty major Marvel Universe villain. So it's kind of hard to believe they would just use him for this movie, if that is the case, just for the Ant-Man movie. In the comics, he's a major thorn in the side of both the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, so this could possibly lead us to the Fantastic Four, bringing the Fantastic Four into the MCU. I'm just speculating here, but definitely kind of interesting to hear that it looks like they are bringing Kang into the MCU. Okay, for you G.I. Joe fans, so it looks like we've gotten our first look at the second wave of G.I. Joe Retro figures, which are Walmart exclusives. These images come via Sean Hume and the guys at the Full Force podcast. Now, as I understand it, these figures are actually starting to hit Walmart now. So I checked my Walmart this morning. Never even saw Wave 1 there, so certainly didn't see Wave 2. Not that I am personally too interested in getting these, since I have the 25th anniversary figures. Those are plenty good for me. But as it is, the second wave is going to include Scarlet, Destro, and version 1 Roadblock, and of course these come on the retro type card backs that are reminiscent to the original 80s toy line. Of course, so did the 25th anniversary figures, so it's not like Hasbro's done that before. Again, I'm not a huge fan of these retro figures. I feel like Hasbro, at the very least, Hasbro should have gone the same route they did with Ghostbusters and Star Wars, and given us the exact same original O-ring figures on the card backs, recreating essentially the exact replicas of the original figures. It's kind of funny, we got Ghostbusters, we got Star Wars, which was originally under Kenner. G.I. Joe was always under Hasbro, and we don't actually get the original G.I. Joe figures. Might be safety regulations. I don't know with the O-rings. I've heard things like that mentioned for why they're not bringing the O-rings back, but I don't know. Anyway, if you were interested, if you are collecting this line, again, the second wave has started to hit shelves and is going to include Roadblock, Scarlet, and Destro. Now, about a month ago, I think it's been about a month now, I talked about the new action figure line coming from the company known as Loyal Subjects. It's a 5-inch action figure line, and they're doing, this line. It's called BST AXN, and it is going to incorporate a lot of different properties. Things like Lord of the Rings, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, Big Trouble in Little China even. And just this weekend, Loyal Subjects announced that this line is going to make its debut at Walmart starting this week, supposed to be on September 15th. And it looks like they're going to be starting off with the release of the 2 figures that they have slated for the Full Metal Alchemist line. In the ongoing saga that is GameStop, it was announced that they are going to be closing more stores here this year. Originally back in March, they said they were going to be closing about 300 stores worldwide. And then last week, at the end of last week, they reported their financials for the second quarter, and they underperformed. Even though their online sales actually went up about 800%, it was not enough to meet expectations, and so they have now announced that they are upping the number from 300 stores that they're closing this year to between 400 and 450 stores, and they also said that more store closures will be coming in 2021. GIJoe seems to be really in love with their Amazing Yamaguchi Rebel Tech Harley Quinn figure, because now they have announced a 3rd version of the figure that is being released. So the original version, which was the red and black version, and then I talked about the color version that they were going to be releasing, I think, a couple of news videos ago. But now we have this 3rd one with the red and blue ponytails. So essentially another color variation. It is just a repaint, same accessories and everything. And all 3 figures, if you're interested in getting all 3, are available for pre-order now at places like our sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. McFarlane Toys showed off their first batch of Dune movie figures. It might be their only batch, I'm not entirely sure. But they've shown off 4 different figures, and they say this is part of some type of Build-A-Figure wave. We're not getting a look at the Build-A-Figure yet. They haven't told us what it is. But 4 figures, and these are based on the new Dune movie. I talked about the other day, or the other news video last week, I think, where they showed off the Shao Kahn, and they accidentally left a watermark for Dune. It was announced back in July that they were going to be doing figures for the new Dune movie, and I surmise that with the new trailer having dropped, we'd probably be seeing the figures from McFarlane very soon. So that day has come. And with the 4 figures, they didn't actually name the figures, but I believe one is based on the Duncan character played by Jason Momoa, Aquaman fame. Also, the main character, Timothy, I think that's Timothy, I don't know. I think that's one of the figures here. And then the Oscar Isaac figure of Duke is shown here. And then one of the female characters from the movie. I think that might be Lady Jessica, but I won't swear to it. And then the Build-A-Figure, I'm going to guess, is based on the Dave Bautista character. So the Glasu, I think is how you pronounce the character's name. I haven't seen Dune, the original Dune movie. I've never read the book. I've heard the book is actually much better than the movie, but I only saw the movie once back in the day, and frankly, I was not a fan. I found the movie to be very long and boring, as I think many people did back then. But so I'm not a huge Dune fan personally, but if you are, McFarlane is doing figures based on this new movie. Now, some were thinking maybe the Build-A-Figure would be one of those salt worms that you see. And while that would be cool, I doubt they would do that as a Build-A-Figure. I'm not even sure how you would pull that off as a Build-A-Figure. If they do one of those, my guess is they kind of probably would take a page from their Game of Thrones line, like they did with the dragons, which means it probably, doing it as a single release, and then probably it wouldn't actually be in scale with the 7-inch figures, because that thing is huge in the movie from what we saw in the trailer. Now, if you were a fan of the old Milton Bradley Hero Quest game that came out in the early 90s, well, Hasbro has announced that they are bringing that back in some fashion. We don't have specific details. There was a mention by Brian Goldner, Hasbro CEO, during one of their financial conferences they had last week with Bank of America, where he mentioned that they were bringing Hero Quest back. And then just today on their social media, they put up this image. These are symbols from the Hero Quest game, and they have indicated a major announcement is going to be coming on September 22nd. They also have launched a website, a Hero Quest website. Now, the thing to note here is in this, when they posted this image of the symbols, they included a hashtag that said HasLab. So I'm assuming that means that they're going to be doing something with this through the HasLab crowdsourcing. I can't say that 100%, but I have a feeling that's going to be part of the announcement that comes on Tuesday the 22nd. And if you're not familiar with Hero Quest, again, it's a game that was originally put out by Milton Bradley. It's probably best known for the little miniatures that were included in the game that were actually created by Games Workshop. And also the artwork for the game was created by Games Workshop. And this new game apparently is going to be done through Avalon Hill, is something I think Hasbro recently picked up, a company Hasbro recently picked up. So I'm guessing it is some type of board game, or maybe some type of combination board game, virtual game or something. I don't know. I don't think it's action figures. I don't think the tease is meant to be for action figures themselves. But, again, if you're a fan of that original game, it looks like it is definitely coming back in some shape or form from Hasbro. And then the final bit of news I have for you guys today is on the Super7 front with ThunderCats. So today they teased a new figure that's going to be coming. The announcement is expected to be made on Wednesday. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is the first figure in the next wave of Ultimate's ThunderCats, or if this is going to be some type of standalone, maybe deluxe figure. So the image here is teasing the character known as Snowman. And if you're not familiar, this is one of the more obscure characters, I would say. He lived in the castle of Snowman on Icy Hook Mountain, and he had essentially a trusty sidekick, a very large cat called Snow Meow. So it'll be interesting to see if they include the Snow Meow with this figure, which if they do, that might make this some type of one-off deluxe figure. Or again, this might be the first figure they do in Wave 4. Now, I could conceivably maybe see them doing the Snow Meow cat was actually big enough, that they could do a figure of just Snow Meow by itself, I suppose. I also suspect that we'll probably soon be seeing the Wily Kit and Wily Cat, probably in Wave 4, that was originally done by Mattel. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But definitely they're doing, you can tell this is definitely a new Snowman figure. But whether this is part of Wave 4 or something else, I guess we'll have to wait until Wednesday and see. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about. Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, we have those 2 contests going on both Toy News International and Marvelous News, where we give away $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. Links to both of those contests are in the video description below. Stay safe out there, guys, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.